The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of July 13 to July 17, 2026, promise a dangerous shift in the balance of power in Genoa City as Victor Newman delivers an uncompromising ultimatum. Kyle Abbott prepares to strike at a threat that has already caused enormous damage, and Patty Williams discovers that even a prison cell may not prevent her from becoming part of another shocking alliance. While the week begins with a rare moment of warmth at the Abbott mansion, that peace is unlikely to last. Lauren Fenmore Baldwin reconnects with Tracy Abbott and Ashley Abbott over wine, food, and years of shared history. But outside the comfortable walls of the Abbott home, the conflict surrounding Victor is intensifying. Adam Newman finds himself trapped between his father's demands and the future he hoped to build with Chelsea Lawson, while Billy Abbott and Kyle quietly discuss the possibility that the Newmans and Abbotts have overlooked their greatest opportunity to stop Victor. The most disturbing development, however, comes when Kyle visits Patty in prison. Patty expects to see a different member of the Abbott family, and her surprise raises an immediate question. Has Kyle come to confront the woman who nearly destroyed his parents? Or is he desperate enough to use her against Victor? The answer could determine whether the Abbott family finally gains the upper hand or walks directly into another trap. At the Abbott mansion, Lauren, Tracy, and Ashley enjoy a scene that feels almost strangely peaceful considering everything the family has recently survived. Jack Abbott's stabbing and Diane Abbott's confrontation with Patty left the Abbotts facing the possibility of devastating loss. For days, fear controlled every conversation. No one knew whether Jack would regain consciousness, whether Diane would recover after being attacked with a syringe, or whether Patty would find another way to strike before she was captured. Now that Jack and Diane appear to be stable, Ashley and Tracy can finally lower their guard, even if only for one evening. They gather with Lauren in the dining area of the Abbott home, surrounded by the familiar elegance of the mansion and the comforting evidence that their family has endured another crisis without being completely broken. Wine is poured, small plates of food are arranged before them, and for a short time they allow themselves to laugh rather than worry about medical reports, police investigations, or Patty's next move. Lauren's presence feels natural because she has been connected to the Abbotts for so many years. She has witnessed their victories, scandals, rivalries, and painful reunions. She knows that being close to the Abbott family means accepting chaos as part of the relationship, and she has remained beside them through circumstances that would have driven away a less loyal friend. When Lauren playfully asks whether she should finally be considered an honorary member of the Abbott family, Ashley pretends to question who approved such a decision. The teasing could easily be misunderstood by anyone unfamiliar with their history, but Lauren immediately recognizes the affection beneath Ashley's words. Tracy and Ashley then answer together that they approve, prompting Lauren to celebrate the declaration with obvious satisfaction. All three women laugh, and the moment provides a much-needed reminder that family is not defined only by blood. Lauren has earned her place through loyalty, shared experiences, and the simple act of continuing to show up when the Abbotts need her. For Ashley, whose return to Genoa City was triggered by Jack's medical emergency, the gathering also offers a chance to reconnect with a life she has been forced to experience from a distance. She has spent too much time away from her siblings, and seeing Jack nearly die has reminded her how quickly distance can turn into regret. Tracy, always sensitive to the emotional needs of the people around her, likely understands that Ashley needs this evening as much as anyone. The laughter is genuine, but it is also fragile. Each woman knows that Jack's recovery is not guaranteed to be simple and that Patty's arrest may not erase the danger she created. Still, they choose to celebrate the fact that Jack and Diane are alive. In a family accustomed to surviving one battle only to face another, taking a moment to appreciate survival becomes an act of resistance. The warm reunion may also allow Lauren, Ashley, and Tracy to discuss what comes next for the Abbott family. Ashley may express concern that Kyle is not handling the crisis as well as he claims. He has watched his father nearly die, and his mother risk her own life while pursuing Patty. Kyle has attempted to appear determined and focused, but his anger has been building. Tracy may believe that he needs time and support, while Ashley could suspect that Kyle is already planning something reckless. Lauren, who has seen how grief and fear can push people into dangerous decisions, may agree that Kyle should not be left alone with his rage. None of them, however, may realize that he is preparing to visit Patty. If they knew, they would almost certainly try to stop him. Patty is not merely the woman who attacked Jack, she is also an expert at exploiting emotional vulnerability. Kyle may believe he can control the conversation, but Patty has spent years manipulating the people around her. She understands obsession, resentment, and revenge better than almost anyone. A frightened and furious son walking into her prison visiting room could be exactly the opportunity she has been waiting for. While the Abbott women briefly enjoy peace, the atmosphere at the Newman Ranch is considerably colder. Victor Newman sits with Adam and Chelsea, but the meeting is not an ordinary family discussion. Victor has already decided what he wants, and his decision leaves little room for compromise. Adam asks his father for 6 months to carry out the plan he has created with Chelsea. He believes they deserve the opportunity to prove that their strategy can succeed, and he attempts to present the request in terms Victor should understand. 6 months is not an indefinite period. It is a measurable chance to demonstrate results. Adam is willing to accept consequences if he fails, even telling Victor that after the 6 months have passed, his father can take whatever action he chooses. To Adam, the proposal is reasonable. It allows him to protect the business future he imagined with Chelsea, while still acknowledging Victor's authority and concerns. Victor, however, is not interested in negotiating. He tells Adam that there is only one offer on the table and that he can either accept it or reject it. The message is unmistakable. Victor does not consider Adam an equal partner. He considers him a son who must decide whether to obey. Adam's frustration is made worse by the fact that the larger Newman family meeting has already left him feeling isolated. Victor, Victoria Newman, and Nick Newman may claim that their choices are intended to protect the family, but Adam once again senses that his voice carries less weight than everyone else's. He has spent years struggling against the role assigned to him as the Newman outsider, the difficult son who is trusted only when Victor needs him and blamed whenever a plan goes wrong. No matter how many times Adam proves his intelligence or loyalty, the family eventually returns to the same pattern. Victoria is treated as Victor's natural heir. Nick is given the benefit of the doubt because of his place within the family, and Adam is expected to accept whatever remains. The ultimatum reinforces his worst fear. Victor does not truly see the future Adam wants to build. He sees only another asset to control. Chelsea witnesses the tension and understands how dangerous it could become. She has encouraged Adam to build something independent rather than allowing Victor's approval to define his choices. But independence is difficult when Victor deliberately targets the very company Adam hopes to develop. Victor's decision to go after Spectra Charles Communications creates the possibility of another civil war within the Newman family. Adam knows that Victor has already given away Arabesque, a company Adam hoped to rebuild alongside Chelsea. That loss was not merely financial. Arabesque represented the chance for Adam and Chelsea to create something that belonged to them rather than existing under Victor's shadow. Now, Victor's interest in Spectra Charles Communications threatens to destroy another path toward independence. Whether Victor views the company as a valuable acquisition, a strategic weapon, or a threat to Newman interests, Adam understands that his father's intervention is personal. Victor could pursue countless business opportunities, yet he repeatedly chooses those connected to his children's hopes and loyalties. He insists that he acts for the family, but his methods often make his children feel more like pieces on a board than people with their own ambitions. Chelsea may attempt to calm Adam after Victor delivers the ultimatum, but she is unlikely to encourage surrender. She understands Victor too well to believe that accepting his current demand will end his interference. If Adam gives in now, Victor will simply move the boundary again. At the same time, rejecting the ultimatum could place Adam and Chelsea directly in Victor's path. Victor does not tolerate defiance, especially from Adam. He may use Newman Enterprises, family loyalties, and financial pressure to force Adam into submission. The choice is therefore more complicated than accepting or refusing a business proposal. Adam must decide whether he is willing to risk another complete break with his father. He has attempted that separation before, only to be pulled back by family emergencies, emotional manipulation, and the persistent desire to be accepted as Victor's son. The ultimatum forces him to confront an uncomfortable truth. Victor's acceptance may always come with conditions. This conflict could also affect Adam's relationships with Victoria and Nick. If they support Victor, Adam will view their loyalty as further proof that he remains the family's expendable member. Victoria may argue that Spectra Charles Communications represents a legitimate threat and that Victor's strategy is necessary. Nick may try to take a more moderate position, but even neutrality could feel like betrayal to Adam. From Adam's perspective, his siblings benefit from a family structure designed to protect them while restricting him. He may believe they are willing to sacrifice his plans because they are not the ones being asked to surrender. The argument could quickly move beyond business and reopen decades of resentment. Adam's anger is rarely limited to the immediate issue. Every rejection reminds him of previous rejections, and every command from Victor carries the weight of all the times Adam has been told that he does not fully belong. As tensions grow within the Newman family, Billy and Kyle meet at society to discuss a problem that has haunted the Abbotts for years: Victor Newman. Billy observes that Victor is an enormous target, yet somehow everyone continues to miss him. The statement reflects both frustration and admiration. Victor's enemies are numerous, his tactics are often obvious, and his weaknesses should be visible, but he consistently survives every attempt to bring him down. People underestimate how far he is willing to go, attack him without understanding his defenses, or allow personal emotion to destroy their strategy. Billy has made all of these mistakes. His history with Victor is filled with impulsive decisions, failed revenge schemes, and moments when anger mattered more to him than the consequences. He knows what it means to believe he finally has Victor cornered, only to discover that Victor anticipated the attack and prepared a countermeasure. Kyle's response is quiet but determined. Not this time. The words suggest that he believes the current situation is different. He is not speaking like someone considering a vague possibility. He sounds like someone who has already chosen a course of action. Billy immediately asks what Kyle intends to do, but Kyle's expression reveals that his plan is connected to something painful. He is still carrying the emotional impact of Jack's stabbing and Diane's attack. Victor may not have held the weapon Patty used, but Kyle appears convinced that Victor's manipulation, interference, or secret arrangements helped create the circumstances that nearly destroyed his family. To Kyle, Victor is no longer simply a rival businessman or a controlling grandfather figure. He is a direct threat to the people Kyle loves. The alliance between Billy and Kyle is potentially powerful but extremely unstable. Both men understand the Abbott family's history with Victor, and both have reasons to want him stopped. Billy possesses experience, contacts, and an instinct for Victor's tactics. Kyle has access to Jabot, knowledge of Victor's relationships, and a personal determination intensified by recent trauma. Together, they could create a strategy that Victor does not expect. Yet both men are also vulnerable to impulsiveness. Billy's anger has ruined many of his plans, while Kyle's desperation may push him into decisions he would normally reject. Their conversation at society could therefore become the beginning of either a successful counterattack or another disaster. Billy may advise patience, warning Kyle that attacking Victor requires evidence, timing, and complete emotional control. Kyle may insist that the family no longer has time for caution. Jack nearly died. Diane was assaulted. Patty remains dangerous even behind bars. From Kyle's perspective, waiting gives Victor another opportunity to manipulate events. Kyle may already suspect that Patty possesses information capable of damaging Victor. If Victor played any role in influencing her, helping her, or using her instability for his own objectives, Patty could become the one witness Victor cannot easily control from prison. She may know about secret meetings, payments, promises, or threats. Even if her testimony would be questioned because of her history, specific details could lead Kyle and Billy toward evidence. The problem is that Patty will not cooperate without demanding something in return. She may want revenge against Jack, freedom from prison, protection, or an emotional connection to the Abbott family. Kyle cannot simply ask questions and expect honest answers. He must convince Patty that helping him serves her interests. The final scene of the preview reveals just how far Kyle may be willing to go. Patty is shown inside a prison visiting area with a man she did not expect to see. She looks at him and remarks that he is not the Abbott she was expecting. Her words immediately create several possibilities. Patty may have believed Jack would come to confront her now that he has regained consciousness. She may have expected Billy, whose anger could easily draw him into a prison visit. She may even have expected Ashley, who has returned to Genoa City and would have no difficulty expressing her hatred. Instead, the camera reveals Kyle, the son of the man Patty stabbed, has voluntarily come to sit across from her. Kyle's visit is shocking because it contradicts the natural expectation that he would avoid Patty or demand that she remain locked away forever. He has every reason to despise her. She nearly killed Jack and then attacked Diane with a syringe. Kyle watched both parents become victims of the same woman, and the emotional damage has left him angry, frightened, and desperate. Why would he give Patty the satisfaction of a private meeting? The most likely answer is that Kyle believes she can help him reach Victor. Patty may be the only person who understands the full structure of whatever schemes surrounded the attacks. If Victor manipulated her or attempted to use her, she may now resent him enough to expose the truth. However, visiting Patty is not the same as forming an alliance. Kyle may begin the meeting with a threat rather than an offer. He could warn her that he intends to uncover every person who helped her and ensure that none of them escapes punishment. Patty may respond by suggesting that the truth is far more complicated than Kyle realizes. She could claim that she was encouraged, deceived, or promised something by someone more powerful. Kyle would immediately suspect Victor, especially if his recent investigation has already revealed inconsistencies. Yet Patty's words cannot be trusted. She could be inventing Victor's involvement because she knows Kyle wants someone else to blame. She may recognize that Kyle's hatred of Victor is the easiest way to control him. Patty's unexpected alliance could therefore be real, false, or something between the two. She may genuinely want revenge on Victor while still intending to manipulate Kyle for her own benefit. Patty rarely acts from a single motive. Her obsession with the Abbott family, resentment toward those who rejected her, and desire to escape consequences can exist at the same time. She could give Kyle enough truth to make herself valuable while withholding the detail that would reveal her full responsibility. Kyle may understand the risk and decide to proceed anyway. Desperation often convinces people that they can control dangerous partners as long as their goals temporarily align. Billy's question at society, "What are you going to do?" takes on a darker meaning once Kyle appears at the prison. Kyle's plan may be to weaponize Patty against Victor. Instead of treating her only as the enemy who attacked his parents, he may view her as a source of information and a tool capable of creating chaos within the Newman Empire. If Patty can testify that Victor manipulated her, arranged secret assistance, or attempted to use her against the Abbotts, Victor's family and business reputation could be severely damaged. Adam, already furious over the ultimatum, might become more willing to rebel if he learns that Victor's actions placed Jack and Diane in danger. Nick and Victoria could also be forced to question how far their father went. Kyle may believe that the best way to defeat Victor is not through a direct business attack, but by turning his own family against him. This strategy would explain why Kyle looks so troubled during his conversation with Billy. He knows that using Patty crosses a moral line. Jack would almost certainly oppose the plan. Diane might react with horror if she learned her son was negotiating with the woman who injected her. Ashley and Tracy would fear that Kyle was being manipulated. Even Billy might warn that some allies are too dangerous to use. Yet Kyle may no longer care about maintaining clean hands. Victor has survived because he is willing to do things his opponents will not. Kyle could conclude that defeating him requires adopting the same ruthlessness. That belief is dangerous because it risks transforming Kyle into the kind of man he claims to oppose. Victor's ultimatum and Kyle's prison visit may eventually collide. While Victor attempts to control Adam through business pressure, Kyle could be preparing an attack built around Victor's alleged connection to Patty. Adam's resentment may make him receptive to anything that weakens his father. Chelsea, however, could warn that joining Kyle and Billy would place Adam in another destructive family war. She may recognize that Patty is not a reliable foundation for any plan. If Adam chooses to work with the Abbotts, Victor will interpret it as unforgivable betrayal. If he refuses, he may lose the only opportunity to protect Spectra Charles Communications and recover the independence Victor has repeatedly taken from him. The contrast between the Abbott gathering and the darker storylines is especially meaningful. Lauren, Tracy, and Ashley are celebrating friendship and survival, while Kyle is quietly entering a prison to bargain with the woman responsible for their suffering. They believe the family can finally breathe, but Kyle has decided that safety requires action. His secrecy protects them from immediate worry, yet it could create a deeper betrayal when the truth emerges. Ashley may be particularly furious. She returned because she feared losing Jack, and she will not tolerate Kyle placing himself in Patty's reach. Tracy may try to understand his motivation, but still insists that revenge cannot heal the family. Lauren could recognize that Kyle is following the same dangerous path taken by many Genoa City residents before him, believing that a controlled alliance with an unstable enemy is possible. Patty, meanwhile, may enjoy the power reversal. Kyle enters the prison believing she is trapped and dependent on him, but Patty could quickly demonstrate that physical imprisonment does not make her powerless. She may know exactly what Kyle wants before he asks. She could mention Victor's name without prompting, watching Kyle's reaction and confirming that she has identified his weakness. She may offer a piece of information that only someone involved in the scheme could know, forcing Kyle to take her seriously. Then she could demand a favor. Perhaps she wants Kyle to deliver a message, influence Jack, challenge the official account of her arrest, or investigate someone she claims betrayed her. Kyle may initially refuse, but Patty could remind him that Victor will escape unless he accepts her conditions. The tension of the meeting will come from the uncertainty over who is manipulating whom. Kyle may have prepared questions designed to expose lies, while Patty may provide carefully selected truths. He could record the conversation or arrange for Billy to verify every detail. Patty may anticipate that and avoid making direct statements that could be used against her. Instead, she could speak in hints, forcing Kyle to investigate and thereby pulling him deeper into her world. By the time the meeting ends, Kyle may leave with enough information to believe Victor is vulnerable, but he may also unknowingly advance Patty's plan. The phrase unexpected alliance does not necessarily mean Kyle openly agrees to help Patty. Their alliance could begin through mutual interest rather than trust. Kyle wants Victor exposed. Patty may want Victor punished for abandoning or deceiving her. For one brief period, their goals align. Yet once Victor is weakened, Patty's attention could turn back to Jack and the Abbotts. Kyle may believe he can end the partnership before that happens, but Patty could already be planning beyond him. She might use Kyle's visit to create tension between him and Jack, leak the meeting to the press, or convince others that Kyle helped her. Even a private conversation could become a weapon if Victor discovers it and uses it to discredit Kyle. As the week unfolds, Victor's ultimatum may push Adam toward rebellion, Billy's frustration may transform into a concrete strategy, and Kyle's secret dealings with Patty may expose information that changes everyone's understanding of Jack's attack. The Abbott women's laughter at the mansion offers a beautiful reminder of what the family is trying to preserve, but it also increases the tragedy of what Kyle is risking. He wants to protect Jack and Diane, yet his desire for revenge could invite Patty back into their lives. He wants to stop Victor, yet he may be copying Victor's willingness to manipulate dangerous people. He wants to prove that everyone has missed Victor for the last time, but his determination may blind him to the target directly in front of him. Victor believes his ultimatum will force Adam to choose between obedience and isolation. Billy believes Victor's size and confidence have made him vulnerable. Kyle believes Patty may provide the weapon they need. Patty believes every visitor can be turned into an opportunity. Each person enters the week convinced that they understand the game, but none of them can see every move being made. The most important question is not simply whether Kyle will align himself with Patty. It is whether Patty has already realized how to use Kyle's anger to free herself from the consequences of her crimes. The week may end with Kyle returning from the prison and telling Billy that Patty confirmed their suspicions about Victor. Billy may demand proof, refusing to launch another reckless attack based only on Patty's claims. Kyle could reveal a name, location, payment, or secret meeting that makes the information impossible to ignore. At the same time, Patty may sit alone in her cell with a satisfied smile, suggesting that the conversation unfolded exactly as she intended. Victor, unaware that Kyle has reached out to Patty, may continue pressuring Adam, confident that no one can challenge him. Adam may appear ready to accept the ultimatum, only to make a secret decision with Chelsea that places them on a collision course with Victor. Back at the Abbott mansion, Lauren, Tracy, and Ashley may raise their glasses to family, friendship, and the hope that the worst is finally behind them. They do not know that Kyle has just opened a door the family may never be able to close. Patty is imprisoned, but her influence is moving beyond the walls of her cell. Victor is powerful, but his enemies are beginning to gather. Adam feels rejected, Billy wants another chance to bring Victor down, and Kyle is prepared to target the man he believes nearly ruined his family. The alliance forming may be strong enough to threaten Victor Newman, but it could also become the force that destroys the Abbotts from within. Kyle thinks he has gone to Patty to obtain information. Patty may believe Kyle has come to offer her exactly what she needs, a path back into Jack Abbott's life, and a new opportunity to finish the chaos she started.